Sir, the year was 1945. The world lay devastated by the most horrific war in human history. From the ashes of this global conflict emerged a beacon of hope, the United Nations. Founded on the principles of peace, security, and cooperation, the UN offered a vision of a world where dialogue replaced bombs and diplomacy triumphed over violence. Its charter, signed by 50 nations, laid out ambitious goals to prevent future wars, uphold human rights, and foster social and economic development for all. Initially, the UN's efforts focused on post-war reconstruction and decolonization. It played a crucial role in mediating conflicts, providing humanitarian aid, and establishing international legal frameworks. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted in 1948, stands as a testament to the UN's commitment to human dignity and equality. However, the optimism of the post-war era soon gave way to the realities of the Cold War. The ideological divide between the US and the Soviet Union cast a long shadow over the UN's work. Decision-making within the Security Council, the UN's most powerful body, was often paralyzed by vetoes from the permanent members. Despite these challenges, the UN continued to play a vital role in global affairs. It provided a platform for dialogue and cooperation, even during periods of heightened tension. The organization's specialized agencies, such as the World Health Organization and the United Nations Children's Fund, made significant strides in improving global health and well-being. As the world transitioned to a multipolar system in the 21st century, criticisms of the UN's structure and effectiveness grew louder. Emerging powers, particularly the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, began to demand a greater voice in global governance. They argued that the UN's current structure, designed in the aftermath of World War II, no longer reflected the geopolitical realities of the 21st century. The BRICS nations, representing over 40% of the world's population and a significant share of global GDP, felt that their interests were inadequately represented within the UN system. They pointed to the underrepresentation of developing countries in key decision-making bodies, particularly the Security Council, as evidence of the UN's outdated structure. These emerging powers also criticized what they perceived as the UN's double standards in addressing global challenges. They argued that the organization often applied different rules to different countries, particularly when it came to issues of intervention, sanctions, and human rights. The BRICS nations called for a more democratic, transparent, and accountable UN, one that reflected the diversity and aspirations of the 21st century world. At the heart of the debate over UN reform lies the Security Council, the organization's most powerful body. Tasked with maintaining international peace and security, the Security Council has the authority to impose sanctions, authorize military interventions, and make binding resolutions on member states. However, its composition and decision-making processes have come under intense scrutiny. The Security Council's permanent members, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Russia, and China, hold veto power, allowing any one of them to block a resolution, even if it has the support of the other members. This system, while intended to ensure great power cooperation, has often led to deadlock and inaction, particularly in situations where the permanent members have diverging interests. Critics argue that the veto power is a relic of a bygone era, granting disproportionate influence to a select few while undermining the principle of sovereign equality among nations. The current structure, they contend, fails to reflect the growing influence of regional powers and developing countries, hindering the UN's ability to effectively address global challenges. Beyond its structural flaws, the UN has also faced criticism for its failures in preventing and responding to humanitarian crises and human rights abuses. The Rwandan genocide in 1994, where an estimated 800,000 people were slaughtered, stands as a stark reminder of the UN's limitations. Despite warnings and pleas for help, the international community, including the UN, failed to take decisive action to stop the killings. The UN's response to the ongoing Syrian civil war, which has claimed hundreds of thousands of lives and displaced millions more, has also been widely criticized as inadequate and ineffective. The conflict has exposed the organization's struggles in navigating complex geopolitical situations and its limitations in enforcing its own resolutions. Furthermore, the UN has been plagued by allegations of corruption and sexual abuse by its own peacekeepers. These scandals have tarnished the organization's reputation and eroded public trust in its ability to uphold the very values it espouses.